we go. So here we got my god tier Technomancer build. Finally it's here. The most unique, crazy build you're going to see for Technomancer. Considering we got Scrapnel and Pain Launcher in the same build. Literally just before we go in, let me quickly show you these. So we got a Scrapnel doing 3.1 million off base, and then we got Pain Launcher doing almost 500,000 off each rocket off base as well. And the way this
these pharaohs were following some primal instinct.
boss we got, you should see some of the numbers when we get to it. So
His father's power drawing.
like I said, keep that in mind. So we got a base of 3 million on scrap. Just it's over 3 million, but just say base 3 million. And then we got 500,000 per rocket, and we actually have 10 extra rockets on the Pain Launcher as well. What I'll do is I'll show the trials run, so I'll break down the abilities, the way it's set up, the most optimal setup. I'll show you the worst case situation, the best case situation. We'll go through some random areas if we need to. But most time we streamline it and keep it same route, because I do this, obviously I've done this for my Devastator, my Pyro and my Trickster. So if you haven't checked those videos out yet, make sure you check them out. My Devastator is on like 2,700 or something views, keeps going up, 52 likes, absolutely phenomenal god tier build. 4 impales, first 4 impales build, 3 earthquakes, 4 impales build, first one, and it's all there, sawdust, done and logged, and timestamp says you can check that out. My Shield Beast build for the Trickster, absolutely crazy build, you need to see that as well. And then obviously same with the Pyro. Feed the Flames, never seen a Feed the Flames eruption build, and the way that works together is so good. It's just absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I'll post those links in the description below, so you can check any of those out if you like the other classes too. But literally all original god builds I made from scratch, my own builds, my own style, all made from scratch, all original as well. The most optimal damage, the most highest damage output, as well as survivability. And I've done all the trials, so you can see not only I'm talking about the builds, I'm showing you actually in the trials themselves, and showing a few clips in some of the videos as well what it's capable of. But you'll see, you'll see. Sneaky one there, isn't it? To be honest with you, like, you only needed one shrapnel grenade, and as you can see, like, destroys just one, but we actually have 4. Cooldown is very low as well. That actually worked out better. I love noxious spores as well, such a dope ass mechanic. Oh my god. Bombs are really good. Didn't even need that. Awesome, nice and clean. Alright, so that's a bit of a start of the showcase itself. Like I said, in these trials I'm not going for like the most maximum damage or optimal play. I'm literally going to just show you how the build can work, how you can make it work for yourself. Would recommend, if you are trying to rock this though, when I do the full God build video breakdown, you'll see exactly the weapons of the build I'm using. But I'll recommend some things before we get there as well. 100% you want to be using is armor piercing status for whatever weapon you're using. You want to be using it. So yeah, we're going to just run this without Mage's Rage. We can use Mage's Rage if we wish, but you'll see yourself how impressive it is. But yeah, 11 million, just casual. Very, very easy. That's the first part.
What the hell used to go on here? Some quiet.
Let's just delete these real quick. Make some room. We'll probably pick up some stuff as we go.
Madness.
So yeah, every time I run something, I'll probably just delete some stuff. We are sitting on a base anomaly power of 937,275 firepower base as well. Can I show you? Actually, yeah, check this out. So if you use some of the 2 buffs, just throw in a turret and that, we get 1.7 million. And we get 5.1 million on Scrapnel alone, and we get 789,000 off each rocket. And we have about 20 rockets, I believe, because I got the extra rockets on as well. So, and on top of that, the cluster bombs will hit. I'll show you my Scrapnel set actually. It's actually off the Scrapnel set itself. So when you see the Scrapnel set, you're doing an extra million. We're doing over 1 million for each cluster bomb part, but there's 4 bombs like that go in the cluster, so it's 3 point whatever million I just showed you. But if we use the turret and that on top, it is crazy. It's crazy. I'll literally show you if I can as soon as we load it, just so you can understand the numbers you're looking at. And then obviously with the packs trees and stuff like that, you're doing additional damage for each actually for each skill you get, I think it's an additional 10% anyway. And then on top of that, we're using the pack tree where you get more damage overall. So you'll see. And it causes toxin from our ordnance skills as well. Lethal devices, I believe. And that's the extra additional 5 like toxics reset as well. Hence why once you see some of the numbers start ticking, it gets ridiculous. I think when we got our buffs on the stream before, and yesterday's stream as well, we hit like an enemy. The numbers were like 785,000. I don't know what calculation that worked out. Maybe because of Fortress as well, but the damage over time was 785,000. And it was like ticking. Super quick. So yeah, it's mega damage and ticks per second. It's a lot. Like that's 750,000 roughly when you think about it. Off a tick, that's ticking over a few seconds, like one after the other. That's not off the main damage as well, which is what's crazy about the build. I'll have to clear this out first. I can't really stand there because obviously we are running the Fatal Symbiote. So we do have, if you notice my HP going down a bit, it's a bit tricky because you have to, I've got Dark Sacrifice, Fortress and Noxious spawns on, and if you obviously with Dark Sacrifice, you know, you will lose a bit of HP to start off with, causing you more weapon damage, but it can be risky, especially on the trials, because the game is known to, I know it's weird, man, the game sometimes just freezes, like you end up having full HP, you're fully healed, and the next thing you know, you just knocked. It's very weird. But it can happen time to time. It's not always happen. But yeah, you have to be kind of careful with those things like that, and just keep an eye out. But we got ways around that regardless, and we got a secondary gun as well. But yeah, one thing I do love about this build is, like I said, everyone's got their own playstyle as well, but I love to just run a gun. I don't like to be staying in the same spot for too long. I like to just move around and keep the damage consistent, keep the flow going, and just wreck shop. As you can see, all the cooldowns are super dope, and we haven't even got our cooldown ascension points maxed out either yet. So as you can see, just mad clusters all over the shop. No pun intended. 5 million off that one. So yeah, if you see some of the ticks though, like some of the damage is it just stacks up great. So yeah, 11 million. There you go. Supposed to be a captain, but this build literally one-shots captains. Not even literally, it does. It just one-shots captains every scrapman. Yeah, you can see with these ticks of time as well, like how much damage it does. And that's just off the scrap mill. But as soon as we hit the proc, we already know what's gonna happen. Should be able to kill it. That's perfect. And that's what's dope. You can play very aggressive, very defensive with this build, but it's still gonna stack up and do mega damage. So it's totally up to you how you wanna play. But it literally just goes everything. That's what I love it. So yeah, it doesn't matter about the multiples or how many there are, they just all get wrecked, all of them. And it's just constant. That's what I love it. And that's the main thing to have when you're making like god tier builds or like amazing builds. As long as you're having fun, that's all about it. It's probably the most fun I've had in a build in a while. I had that with my trick staff, felt the same kind of like fun factor, and that's why I keep playing with it. But on the build style of things, I'm messing with different builds. But this is literally the one I want. I'm happy with. As you see, we just hit him. Alright, we've got a sentient power. As soon as we hit him with that proc of the Noxious, we can kind of walk away and move, and just makes the runs more optimal, knowing how much damage it does, and just everything in general is just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Right, we just got an Ascension point, so yeah, I can quickly show you this actually while we're here.
Comes from. Will all of Enoch look like this?
Little sneak peek at the treat. So obviously, yeah, we still haven't got skill leech maxed out. We haven't got cooldown reduction maxed out yet. But it's just like I said before, this build is just phenomenal. So I can't wait till it's fully optimized, as in like all the Ascension points are done and we're maxed out. But even before that, how powerful and ridiculous the build is, it's just monster build. It just covers everything you need. Mob clear is just super quick, super fast. You can just run through like a Devastator. Who needs earthquakes when you got scrapnel and you got 4 of them? Let's go. Like I said, you just one shot captains. Every time that's what's phenomenal. I love going Arboretum because it's so hectic out here.
Probably find the entrance.
Just get a little prepared before we go in. But again, as soon as we get the box, we've already set that. But yeah, this is the part where it gets a bit crazy on the second part with the birds, and I just love it. It's just so much fun to do, so much fun to play against them, and I just love it when you're getting swamped, loads of mobs, and you're just destroying them quick, and then even the boss fights, again, that's what I'm saying. Just as far as builds go, it's just super fun. It's not boring, same thing over and over. You can freestyle and play how you want to play with this build, but it's just constant DPS. Scrapnel, again, 3 million off base. That's without any buffs, and we got like 4 buffs roughly. Plus I got debuffs on the tree, and I'll give you all that in the guide as well, which is phenomenal. We can do anything up to like, I think you saw 10 on a Scrapnel earlier. And then we got 26% damage on enemies frozen as well, which is again super crazy. On top of that, if you are just running, always shoot first your gun though. You know, stuff here.
Here is interested in tending to flowers anymore.
No matter what, always shoot your gun to start with, just to get those noxious spawns just to get started. That'll keep you survivability number 1. It'll start the flow of the mission and help you with just getting your time down a bit quicker as well. Another thing is as well, if you ever see me throw the pain launcher down randomly, it's because on purpose I'll throw it. And I'll run past it, and what the enemies team to do, it's just, well, you just be smart. You get the enemies to chase you while you get the pain launcher up. They'll literally will hit that directly. And that's another thing, you can have a secondary weapon, stacked and ready. If you noticed, I got like, I have Firestorm on personally for this one, but again, you could use a lot of different ones. You could use Ravenous Locust, you could use Sandstorm, whatever works for you and whatever you're happy with. But that'll just keep your HP topped up and just quick get out of there. And obviously we've got the pistols as well with some cool stuff on there. So if you look at that for a reload, how much damage it took a little chunk off it. And then if you took how much the scrap level, we're not even hitting directly. There you go, 7 million there. You can hit the top of them and it still does chunks of damage, but if you don't hit them fully, sometimes it doesn't always kill. So again, if you just saw that, that definitely kills. There you go, 10 million. And again, depends on the angle, because the extra scrapnels will hit as well. For damage, obviously. But again, it's all about getting your positioning right. And you can do the same thing with the scrapnel grenades themselves. You can literally throw them all over the map and then just have them chase you. Another cool thing is you can actually shoot it. Control the fire. Fire and controllers, I mean, the console is so weird the way it angles your gun. Even when you go for headshots, when you're trying to like proc Mage's Rage, it just goes down or low. It's so awkward. So it's best not to use scope really on most weapons on console. Hopefully they do fix something like that. This is a section, so let's get to it. So this is the Arboretum section now of the birds. A lot of people do hate these, and they can be annoying, I guess, or frustrating to fight against. Don't forget your pain launcher is going to require some animation though as well. That's a prime example of how ridiculous the build is. I know those birds can be frustrating to deal with sometimes, but we destroyed the first one already. What I'm actually going to do is run over here and get into the pocket in the corner. I want to put myself in a bad spot on purpose. Again, just to show you, obviously, like I said before, when you got so-called God builds out there, it's alright just showing a 30-second clip of like, oh, this mega damage and that, but show the true build itself in its true form. Like, show it in the worst situation, show it in the best situation, then you'll see how true a God build is. So yeah, we're just going to keep rotating around here. But if you've noticed, we got our cooldown so quick. Even on the turret, so you keep refreshing if we need to. Now that's one time you might struggle, is when you have to reload. But again, just keep an eye on your turret. As long as your turret's there, you're good. Again, we'll just refresh it. And again, you can pre-plant these. Scrapnels. So before the enemy even comes near you, just have them ready. Get your strategies like that as well. Obviously, make your time go quicker for your runs and get more gear, actually more optimal farming. There you go, nice and easy. But as you can see, we just pressed them. I didn't wait for them to come to me. I just went into a corner. Got attacked like two sides, like a right angle kind of thing, and then through the middle with the birds kind of coming over the high ground. But again, we just dominated.
Why didn't the daughters?
I said you don't have to even like think too much. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to be here to do this and do that, and you're not under any stress at all. Chilling. If you do feel that you are getting a bit low on HP at any point, like I said, there are sometimes it can get a bit. I don't know if it's lag or just where the system works. Sometimes you can get stuck and get hit multiple times out of nowhere, and you just, like I said, you just proc your secondary or something. Oh, we're not even worried about those. Let's go. Alright, so we got through probably about, what, 50% so far. I'm going to take a left route as well before the Horde of Sculptures to fight those Sasquatch things. I do like that. I do like fighting those, and again, I think it's just as chaotic, that map, as this section. With the birds, with those even little sprawler things, they kind of like spam attack you over and over. Sasquatches, when they come out, can do some damage and cause some problems when they come out. There's crawlers on there as well, those flying insects as well. So it's definitely an interesting map, and if it is going to be a struggle for us, that would be the map that might cause some concern, considering we've got Dark Sacrifice on the build.
About this city and the stories of the packs. Was it lost to history, or were they terrified of it?
But as you can see so far, we're just dominating, tearing for everything, so we're good. But yeah, I like to mix it up. We got very high status. I think I didn't even show you the status. I'll quickly show that if I get a chance to as well. But our status is like 200% plus. So when I have taken this to Apocalypse tier 40 with like some of my friends and other people that I play with, and the build is perfectly fine. It scales to whatever, and I believe it's 28% status penalty when you get to Apocalypse tier 40. But we're on 200 plus, and that's not with status maxed out. So again, I think you're looking at about 180 status, 190 when including the penalty at Apocalypse tier 40. So it's still a lot of status anyway, do you know what I mean? So it's still very, very high, and still a lot of status in general. But again, when I show you the God build video and the breakdown, you'll see everything. And it's not just scaled off that. It's not just scaled off that. Obviously a lot of damage you could do. So yeah, we've kind of made it in a mindset. And like I said, all my God builds are the same. I don't like hold back anything. Don't have any dead mods whatsoever, and on top of that, they're all future proof. So regardless of what kind of change they'll make to a certain degree, your builds will all be phenomenally fine. And you don't need Mage's Rage, as I've said already. A lot of people claim all these God builds just because of Mage's Rage, and now it's got fixed the way it is. A lot of these people are not making content because they don't know how to build. But it's not about Mage's Rage all the time. I don't think outside the box people. So again, I think I could proc Mage's Rage. Maybe I could proc it now. Yeah, we'll proc it. Well, he's pretty much dead anyway. Right, he ran away. But we should be able to still get a scrap or two on him. But yeah, never let your guard down with this Crusade. There we go. Again, you could be doing a flawless run with him, and then you think he's dead. He's got a slither of health, and somehow those like shadow things just hit you like multiple times, and you can't get knocked. Kind of silly. Another cool thing, I may have mentioned it already, but yeah, you can shoot these. So again, you can do your God tier setups before anyone even spawns. If you know the rotation of a certain area of the map, you can literally drop your 4, and you can wait, and you could just shoot him. Even if you got a long range weapon or whatever, you could just shoot him from far range and proc them from far. So you can do it that way. And the good thing is, just because you set off one, they don't all go off. Each one goes off physically when you physically shoot that one. So you could proc 4 right next to each other, and only one will go off every time you shoot them. So it's so dope. There's so many ways you can make this build viable and work for you. That's what I'm saying. It's just a phenomenal build. Original build, never seen before. Any video, a Pain, launcher, and Scrapnel, and turret, the way I've got it in one video. You normally just see one and then nothing else, but the fact that we got, you can throw your Scrapnel, for example, you throw your Pain launcher, you have your turret down. Your turret's going to do damage over time. I've got buffs on my turret as well, which does anomaly beam damage, which is nuts, the crazy amount of damage it does in such a short period of time. Again, I don't know if that's stacked based off your anomaly or how, if it goes higher or not, but even off base it does so much damage. And then on top of that, like I said, pain launcher going in, pain launcher doing 500,000 off base. But then, as you saw with the buffs on, I think we could get up to 1 million because it does what, nearly 800,000 off 2 procs, not even including arms anomaly, and anomaly echo. And then again, we have about 20 rockets as well. So again, the build is just absolutely crazy. Again, if you notice, I'm keeping my left side covered so we're not getting hit from random spawns. But with the rockets, you can hit them at a slight angle if you want as well. And we got the width on it, very strong. Do not use the range because the range is very weird. I don't know why they've done the range so awkward. It doesn't make any sense to use the range on them because it goes up and over the enemies. But the width one's perfect. Just do that extra like width of damage. It covers way more areas. But it's so much better. And again, like I said, you can shoot it. You can use it to shoot them at angles as well. So if you just notice, we just clipped that one with the shrapnel grenade. We didn't even hit it. We just literally clipped it and it still did that mega damage. That's what I'm saying. It's just bonkers. Also, another thing as well, I did actually use the Scrapnel mod to get bigger detection and more damage. Well, it's not more damage, but better detection. But I don't think it works that well because enemies can sense off the detonate from right on the edge, and it won't actually. It'll only proc with one. Whereas if you hit them bang on, it will proc all 4. I'll actually show the numbers after this. Alright. So yeah. So remember what I said before, you need to throw a pain launcher out, you think you messed up, don't worry about it, just keep moving. More than likely, at least one enemy will walk past it, and that's not a waste. And don't forget, even if you hit one enemy, you should proc it with something, a little bit of damage, and that toxic damage over time as well, since it's on our ordnance skill, or on our fact stream. So you're going to get your HP back for that as well. So survivability will help you out with that. So you do, like I said before, you're just doing constant DPS. And again, look, we shot the, see how it peaks over there? So again, your pain launcher will peak over certain targets and enemies, so make sure you angle it correctly. Or you can lose a lot of DPS and damage as well. Look at that though, absolutely phenomenal. But again, that's what's just so phenomenal about the build. As you can see, even if you mess with the pain launcher to a certain degree, you got your turret doing freeze anyway, you got your scrapnels doing Scrapnel grenade just doing crazy damage. Oh, I wanted to show you this as well. So basically, we got the torrential. I'll show you a sneak peek of one of the pieces anyway. But yeah, we got this. Look at that. Scrapnel creates additional cluster bombs after each explosion, each dealing 1,077,000 anomaly power scale damage. So that's 4 on top. So like I said, 3 million off base times a 4, and you have 4 of those because I have 4 scrapnels. And that's before we add any buffs. But then again, when I just throw... So if you're good at maths, the numbers will go up crazy. If you throw a turret, throw a scrapnel grenade, that's 80% buff of anomaly power anyway.
All the story.
I wonder if it tells you different
for all
here.
of it. 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, 1.8 million there. Just by doing that, 1.8 million. So what's that? 5 million. 1.8 million times 4. Add that to 5 million. That's not the exact numbers. We're kind of even rounded down a little bit. But yeah, if you're good at maths anyway, 5 million. Plus the 1.8 I said times 4 on top. And then add that together and times up by 4. That's literally just your scrapnel. Literally just your scrapnel damage. Cooldown is like 6 seconds without even having anything maxed out on the cooldown, so very low. And again, I think once we max out that cooldown reduction on the Ascension tree, it'll just go down even further, and then it'll just, again though, The way I said this, very meticulous. So I've done this build. I've done it very meticulous, and I've put everything together. Like I said, it down to the noxious spawns, going around hitting. Like while they're flying around doing damage, I think we're doing 1 million off that. Cause it's 3 projectiles, 300,000 roughly, 360 something thousand each, or 399,000. So we're easily hitting that 1 million plus off those alone. Then that does toxin damage, and on the build we have toxic piercer as well. So we got increased damage off that, and I'll go for everything with you. But I'll show you the stats on this next section. We already at Old Creole. Alright, we're on the Old Creole. Then we got the left passage, and then we can do Horde of Sculptures, then we got the last Arbiter. If I can, I'll show you. I'll show Mage's Rage in the last one if you can proc it correctly. But you know how it is running it. A bit of RNG and can be a bit awkward sometimes, depending if the boss runs away. I know it's weird. You do so much damage to the boss, and he runs away from you a lot of the time. Yeah, you got to be careful with this fight. Again, it's kind of annoying because if you do so much damage, you're too close to O'Creel. They do that like attack, and it seems like you can't get out of it, even if you kind of roll or get to a certain degree. But if you notice down there, look where I threw my turret. So I already knew that ahead of time. So my turret's doing damage to whatever's up there. It's doing some good damage ticks in the 70k, 75. That. Well, look at that. So yeah, and you can see the numbers now. So that's got my HP back up. So again, it's just all strategy and setup. You can all set up your turret across the map, join on the other side of the map, do damage from one side of the map while your turret does damage over there. Your noxious spawns will hit something else from across the map, and that's what I'm saying. It's just a crazy spot. I don't think the Corsair's going to survive. Yeah, that's right. He's dead already. There you go. Section done. Yeah, see? And now we didn't move too close to it because we already knew how much damage we'd do. We're kind of free to not take any damage at the start. But yeah, set up a few scrapnels here, like a gateway. Stop anyone coming from that angle. Use your gun to shoot from the other side. You can also throw them here as well. He's confused, he's running away from me. 4 million something. Was that not? That was just noxious spawns, right? Damage us. But yeah, I just love the way everything scales off this. Everything scales off each other with this build. And I gotta say, I don't know if it did change, but the pain launcher off base, it does have a good, like, it covers a lot of area anyway, so say even without that mod, you don't really need that mod to cover more like range and distance. Right, another Corsair there. Of course. Man, we also do, what's no better build, we do 26% more damage to enemies afflicted with freeze as well. Right, we're just doing 2.4 million after scrapping them. We didn't even see on the map. Yeah, there you go. I said he one-shots. He literally one-shots captains. Anyone that's supposed to be classed as a captain or anything like that, just literally one-shots. Right, I just noticed we are running low on ammo. Right, we can top up over there. So again, same tactics. Just throw a turret whenever you feel that you want it across the map. Keep you constantly topped up for HP. And then again, look, we just literally went around there one go round, and literally our pain launcher was back on the cooldown a bit. yeah, everything just melds so well. The synergy, I think the synergy is just through the roof. What I love about it. You all know when you make that like dope ass build and the synergy just plays so well. It's just so much fun to play. It's just the best thing in the world. See, and you see, look at the cheese. Or, like even if you plan it ahead, the cheese is still there. We have another Corsair coming towards on the right. You just noticed that down there. Just a skull. So we'll see what he's thinking of trying to. I doubt he'll make it past, but we'll see. But yeah, dope again. We don't actually have, we didn't need any Captain Hunt or anything specific just for elites to do this damage. We didn't need like Virulent Compound, nothing as well. Which I think some of these mods are good, but some of these mods that are just situational, I just don't think they're the best or best survival. Right, now that he's frozen, he's so dead. He's so dead. But yeah, that's another thing to look at as well. Anything that is frozen takes 26% more damage as well, which again is nuts. So again, imagine buffing everything, getting all your buffs, and then doing that on top of all that. And another thing as well, when I go through the patch tree, it does actually have a very high debuff as well, so it does even more damage because it makes enemies so squishy. Hey, you'll see when the full video is released. I'll get it out though probably as soon as all these trials and I'll log these and upload this. I'll probably do some snippets of some other boss fights. I have killed a Dr. Detonator before I made this build the way I made it. With like one shot rotation basically, I absolutely destroyed him. And Moloch as well. He got absolutely destroyed. I know some people like seeing that sort of like content when you just one shot stuff or one rotation. So I don't mind putting some clips together, putting a little montage together for the guide as well. So you look at the radius, 6.8 million, like that. I mean, to be honest, you just don't see anything, like, even if you're in that million, like, off one attack, that's like a dope thing to have. It's such a, like, it's not gun-based, it's literally just like a throw, and it's instant. Like, it's just, that's what I'm saying. That's where the build just shines. It's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. And yeah, look at the paint launcher, you can reach it from here all the way to OUTRIDERS. From the blue pad section as well. But yeah, hopefully future-wise they rework the paint launcher. I'd be so happy if they did that. That'd be so dope. Like I said before, just the rocket shoot upwards or something like that. Something common sense. And just bring like a rocket spray down from the skies or something. How amazing would that be? Just like a box, instead of going like that, just shoot straight up, which rains all the way down. And even if you wanted, I mean, if you added homing rockets, that would be god tier, like everything homing in as well. But you know, I'm not even saying make it super broken, just make it what it is. It's called paint launch for a reason. It's hard to get the cooldown time as well, so low. So if you put all that work in, you want to be rewarded. You know what I mean? But yeah, it just common sense. You could either have where you hold the button and you can kind of choose the radius where you want to drop it. Hold the button for a larger, wider spread, or just tap it for a quick like drop down on the damage. Or if they can't do that, like I said, just I don't know, just shoot it so it just comes straight down. Wherever you drop your box, it'll come straight down on that area like a radius, gives like a circle indication where it's going to drop. That'd be absolutely phenomenal.
Said he was consumed by his visions.
That way, you wouldn't lose any damage on any single rocket. The rocket would be all optimal damage. That'd be on you to kind of work out the animation time, where it's going to drop, how you're going to drop it. You know, freeze turret would do the job because it just frees them in place anyway.
Be the source of all of Father's madness.
But yeah, we get 26% buff and anything frozen as well on top. So those numbers I mentioned earlier, I said if you're good at math, you can figure it all out yourself. But what was it, like 5 million or something plus the 1.8 million, all that crap. Imagine if they're frozen and you do 26% more damage on that. And then imagine having arms anomaly echo on top of that, which is what I've got on the build as well. And then again, if you look at the tree, like I said, we got another debuff on top of all that. So I'm sure someone can figure it all out. But like I said before, the numbers are nuts. The numbers are absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. Right, this should be an interesting one since we're running up here and we've got to find those Sasquatch things as well. They are pretty funky to fight, and they can be a bit of a nuisance when they start spamming, especially with those other little crawlers around as well. It's just, I think this just map's meant to be like that. The Arboretum, I definitely know is for a fact just designed that way, which is not a bad thing. You want to mix it up. You want some parts where it gets really chaotic and gets crazy, and you want some parts where it's not so crazy. Just to mix it up like a roller coaster, you know, like a good movie. You have your slow parts, the build up, crazy action, and the build down, a bit more story, a bit more lore, backstory, and then you get your flow and then you enjoy it. Let's go. So yeah, make sure this is topped up. I'm gonna kind of run toward the end and see if we can just get him to chase me down like I did on that Arboretum section, so we can just do what we do. But like I said before, strategy wise, always get that first shot off before while you can. Just for those notcher spores to be constantly going off. And again, if you drop that pain launcher, just get them to chase you. We can literally throw these behind me though, and you'll see them just try and chase me and just get destroyed. Just like follow the dots. Pac-Man. Eat it, eat it. That's a lot of damage. But yeah, always keep an eye on the minimap. As long as you look on the minimap, you'll know exactly where the enemies are coming from, which angles they're going to be trying to attack you, and then you just make it work for you. But the current cooldown time is very low, very, very low. Don't keep spamming it though, because it will stop shooting, and that can cost you. But I guess when it's to about 30% HP, that's when you want to be wary of dropping a new one. Once you start flowing though, you'll see the synergy just come like a habit. And another good thing is as well though, if you do feel like you dropped your turret in such a bad angle and it's not doing that much DPS, it's blocked by a wall. Like I said, the cooldown's so low, don't even trip. Just replace it. Put it in a better spot, that benefits you. But just like with this and any other build, the main things I'll say, keep an eye out for ammo. Because when you are reloading, like look at that now. This is a bad prop, so we're gonna use that. One hit was all it took, and apparently got us into red. But then I've tried it even without Dark Sacrifice, and you'll probably agree if you run the trials so much like I have, it happens on any build and everything. It always happens the same. Once you get hit like one hit. Oh, that was nice and quick. Awesome. That's just that sound alone is phenomenal. And again, you can see how many rockets are coming out, and it just looks cool. And again, we're doing what 700,000, 800,000, whatever it was. But I want to see when it's. I'll check the numbers when I've fully got all my procs on, and we'll see because I'm curious how much each rocket would do then. And that's definitely a lot. But yeah, setups like that are not uncommon at all. If you know the map, like I said, you just place what you need to place, and it's so good, so good. But yeah, I've ran this build in some expeditions as well, like obviously Stargrave, and again, we're just one-shotting everything. Boomtown, I know it's a couple of minutes, about 3 or 4 minutes to run. I know, like kind of casual, relaxed run. It just wrecks shop, and Dr. Detonate gets destroyed in like literally what. Couple of scrap nose, one pain launcher, one turret. So rotation wise, they get done. They get absolutely done. should have some crawlers coming in as well. So we should have. Oh, there was a Sasquatch here first. If you want that instant kill as well, if you go scrapnel, just aim at the ground, and I feel that it just comes up a little bit quicker in regards to the animation. And that'll just cover you. Did we literally kill all the Sasquatches already? I think we did. I swear we did already. We must have. When you build that ridiculous that it kills things that you want to fight, but you kill them before they even show up on the map. It was. So there you go. I said when I wanted to test and fight him, like.
I'm losing track of time in this place.
Yeah.
How many days has it been?
Wow.
Or years? I wonder where Chen and the others are now. I wonder if I'll ever see them again.
So yeah, again, I haven't used any. I haven't used Mage's Rage whatsoever. I haven't used my pistols for anything that I've needed to get out. I've used my secondary if I've needed to, once or twice. And it's not even a case of needed to. It's just you want to be optimal, as in like you're going to use stuff that's there. Obviously, there's no point in carrying these guns if you're not going to use them. And where I felt I got hit with that little stun, and it got a bit stupid, especially on that level. I just used it once to use a laser, but didn't really need it at all. And again, I went in the bad spot. I put myself in a bad spot. I went in a corner where I got attacked from both angles. We're getting swarmed. Normally, ideally, if you want to play like a strategic kind of move, you would obviously move slowly, bit by bit. You wouldn't run in like me, like a madman, or put yourself on their side of the map. You just move, traverse slowly, get your turret out, get your scrapnels for defense, and then use your pain launch and slowly move forward. But again, like I said, I just like to run and gun and just destroy shit. That's just my style of play. I just like to get in there, get my hands dirty and put in that work. But again, you can play how you want to play, but again, this build will cover you for anything you want. So yeah, only time you need to like watch the offense is like if your turret's not available and your pain launch. For example, if your pain launch is an animation, you're fine. If your turret's there, it's got like 50% health, you're fine. If the scrapnel's got an animation, you're fine. But if you don't have none of those, and I know you shouldn't have at any point not have any of those, but for example, if your turret's not available, you're in the middle of alright, let's say you're in the middle of a reload animation. You can't use a scrapnel because you need to reload your gun. You can't use pain launch because you need to reload. You can't throw a turret because you need to reload your gun. That's when you might want to just switch your weapon to the secondary and just pop the laser or something for overtime, and then just wait till the cooldown. But again, cooldown is so low, you do have everything available. But again, just plan it all. And again, you don't have to use all 4 scrapnels. So if you notice me, what I'll do is sometimes I'll throw 1 and just wait, because 1's more than enough to kill any captain anyway. So I'll throw 1, but you can place 4. But again, it just depends on your play style and how you want to play. Optimally, what you want to do really is, I'd say, because it takes a little bit of animation to throw the turret and for it to drop and then do that, you could just drop 2 scrapnels first.
Shit, look at all
Or 1 scrapnel, then drop the turret, get your both your buffs on, drop the pain launch, that animation comes and kicks in. As that kicks in, your turret will obviously freeze everything, so keep them in check. And then you'll have 2 or 3 scrapnels to go on top of that. And then your notch just spawns with your gun as well. I'm going to go straight for these, because again, I went from the other side last time. But yeah, what's good about this and the build itself, if there's certain enemies at long range that are causing a lot of problems or a nuisance, you obviously want to take those out. There's a Corsair. Oh, was a Corsair, 10 million. Easy. Keep saving. It's like a movie. We should throw it between his legs and bop. Kind of what he's doing. I don't know what he's thinking he's gonna do there. But yeah, like I said about the high ground and certain enemies, look at that. Look at that damage. So good. So good. So yeah, any enemies that are out of range and a bit far, even if you just proc them with the gun, you knock your spawns, look at it. How? Knocks your spawns for the win. Again, we're being a bit aggressive with this, but yeah, we're just rushing in and putting the work to them. But again, this is if you know the map, so you know how it all works. Now, if you notice, we hit him with the edge of it. We didn't hit him with a full grenade. Still did a nice chunk of damage, but again, that's a minor. What? Done already? Oh. I wasn't expecting to kill them so quick, so I didn't get this full rotation on this side. Oh, but he's dead. Again, I rest my case. So look, we'll run towards the pain launcher, so we'll force them in. Let's go. That's done. I guess the one thing you might be unaware of is how much damage you do and the speed of killing things so quick as well. So that might catch you off guard. Now, obviously this is the last rotation. We're not going to fight him multiple times to get the perfect run. We're just going to fight him once and get to the end of it. So we are going to do what we do as normal. I did try and show you Mage's Rage, I think, on the other one. I can't even recall. I ain't had no sleep. It's like 7 in the morning. Well, it's 8:16 now, but I haven't had no sleep. I did a stream as well 4 hours before this, and didn't sleep. I only streamed like 6 hours ago. Let's get to work. So yeah, whatever happens, we're just gonna do what we do and just rush him down. We're not gonna worry about like procs or the most optimal. But if I can show Mage's Rage, I'll try and show it correctly. If we can get him with the right procs. And we just need to remember not to scope, because again, scoping on console is very broken, and I hope they fix that in the future as well. But yeah, just hip fire for the console on Mage's Rage if you need to get that proc. We're not going to proc it straight away. We're going to wait, and I'll show you why. Because we want to get our buffs up first, and then get the Mage's Rage after, so it will multiply correctly the 40% of everything. Not proccing it before we're kicking our buffs. Our buffs will be the turret, scrapnel, and headshots, arms anomaly, anomaly echo as well. We're going to throw a turret at the start. We'll throw a grenade as well. You can get lucky as well sometimes. I'm going to refreeze him here. We didn't proc him fully correctly, I don't believe. We could have done better procs if we didn't move so much, but again, it's just our issue. You know how it goes. So. Now we've got to be careful of the reload. We're not trying to go for headshots per se there, because the angle again of the controller, like if we lock on it might go a bit up, and you got to watch your HP, and that bit just gets spammy, so light work. But as you can see, super easy. He got destroyed. We ran for everything as we did. We get another Sarge. Yeah, you got to be careful with that. And again, we do have Dark Sacrifice on those as well. So obviously the game, the way it works, you know, it's a bit buggy and weird sometimes, and maybe your Dark Sacrifice has kicked in and it doesn't calculate it, and by the time it calculates your Dark Sacrifice as you're getting hit, maybe that's what knocks you. But yeah, there you go, folks. Technomancer God build showed, preview, ran the trials. We'll get a breakdown of the damage. I said it's not about showing how much damage you do. It's actually breaking the damage, what numbers you did and why, and where you excel at, and what's doing so good about your build. I will say though, what I love about this build though, pain launcher sometimes outdoes my scrapnel. I'm not kidding with you. Like my pain launcher, the way I've got it, does so much damage, and you can see all the buffs and the extra stuff the scrapnel has. But the pain launcher sometimes outdoes it. It just depends. It's all different on different maps, but those two alone do some crazy ass numbers between them, and that's what the synergy is just phenomenal. But that was a flawless run. We done what we needed to do. We played it smart, and we weren't trying to go for no showing off like optimal damage overall. But if we run that back, and I run it back again without trying to do it first try, I'll probably put some clips in it. I can always run that. If you run it like normally, you know, you run it, you just retry, run it again, run it multiple times, you get like the best run. But I'm glad it's kind of RNG, because it would be boring if a strategy worked every single time. I ain't gonna lie. So I do like that boss battle, just keep it funky and fresh. Can't get monotonous, everything's exactly the same over and over. I do find that different things, different strategies do change, which I do like about the game. And the boss battles are fresh as well, because you never know what he's going to do. Sometimes you can just get crazy with the spam. Sometimes he can just work flawlessly, he can just do everything to a T. But he did move around a little bit, and then when he ran away from us, you already know you're not going to get the most optimal damage, because he's got his back turned. You're not going to get headshots. And then when he goes into that motion of doing his little attacks, the spam attacks, that's where it gets a bit tricky, because again, it doesn't matter your build even. I've played with like Apocalypse tier 40 players and max ranks players, and we're playing, all of a sudden they're just getting knocked, and I'm like, I even asked them, and they're like, I don't know, I just said it's lag or whatever it is, or it's just a bug, I don't know. But I'm glad we got that done flawlessly. That was the main thing, so I wanted to just run that in one take, no stopping. So there you go, 3.4 billion. 3.4 billion after that. Again, it's not about the actual damage itself. We just want to kind of prove the numbers. And what did I tell you? What was I just saying? Did I or did not just say my pain launcher actually outdoes my scrapnel? Which again, you can see how stupid it gets, but we got 1.1 billion off the pain launcher alone. Again, mega damage, 1 billion off the scrapnel. Toxic, 420 million. Again, noxious spawns damage, 239 million. Again, I was telling you about my turret mod that I have on. Folks, discharge, absolutely god tier, 216 million. So it's only slightly less than a couple of million less than that, which is, I've just praised how much I loved it. And then we got the set bonus trap mine damage, so I believe that's on top of those cluster bombs. I don't know if it calculates it correctly, because that seems 145 million. If we're doing a billion and only 145 million extra damage, that kind of shows. And like I said, when you use that other mod, it causes the detection to go off even further out. It doesn't always proc him, it hits like a little edge. So like chips their shoulder or something, it's weak. So I don't know why they've done that. I don't know if that needs to be looked into or not, but I have tried it out. I've tried everything else. Blighted turret, 77 million. Submachine gun, same thing. See, even lethal devices says 44 million, which doesn't sound like a lot, right? But after billion, talking. And we got burn in there as well, kinetic stomp. Right, yeah, we don't need to see none of these. Rest of these. So there you go, folks. Absolutely phenomenal. So there's your God build video preview of the Technomancer. I'll give you a full breakdown and everything when I do the full video. I'll show you the tree, the mods, the perks, the guns. I'll go through everything. But there you go, man. As you can see, another God tier build video from me. Another original build as well. You won't see nothing like it. Like I said, whenever you come to my builds, my Devastator was the first 4 impales. Trickster Shield Beast, absolutely phenomenal. Hybrid build, God tier build, so original. If you watch the video, how I broke that down. Added some toxin there, does more damage, and how it scales, and it just goes ridiculous. 60 million off one bullet with my Trickster as well off that level, and we still got to level that up at higher. But again, we've got base million firepower, base million anomaly off that. And we've covered Devastator and Pyro as well. So I'll post the links in the description below for you guys to check that out. But again, I just want you to see this video and this build, and yeah, man, I'll break it down for you so you can rock it like the way I'm rocking it, have fun and do mega damage and just destroy the whole map and nuke everything, just pow. So yeah.